If there's no creator, why does the universe exist? A gentle Buddhist answer. Chapter 1. The Human Longing. Who made this? There's a moment, quiet and persistent, that comes to almost every human being. We look up at the stars, or we sit alone after someone we love has passed, and the question slowly rises. Who made all this? It's not just curiosity. It's something deeper. We long for meaning behind the chaos, a guiding hand in the storm. When life becomes uncertain, the idea of someone powerful watching over us brings profound comfort, making us feel less alone in the vastness. This natural longing stems from a deep-seated human tendency. From an early age, we are taught that everything comes from somewhere. A house is built by a builder, a book is written by a writer. So looking at something as vast as the universe, it's instinctively natural to ask, who created this? This impulse is rooted in what psychology calls agency detection. Our brains evolved to notice intention. If the grass rustles, is it just wind or a hidden tiger? This survival instinct now extends to the cosmos. We look at galaxies and think, someone must have placed them. With awe, often comes the question, who made this? The Buddha understood this tendency. There's a story in the Buddhist texts about Brahma Baka, a celestial being who, due to vast stretches of existence in a high realm, believed he was the eternal creator. The Buddha visited him, gently revealing that even this God was caught in delusion and rebirth, a result of his limited view and forgetfulness of the causes that brought him there. It's a profound moment. A God, thinking he is all-powerful, being reminded he too is caught in the web of conditions. Different cultures and traditions have answered this fundamental human question in various ways. In theistic religions, there is a divine being who created the universe, a God who made everything, giving it purpose and control. This view offers not just a story of creation, but also a deep emotional anchor. You were made on purpose. You matter. Someone is in control. Science offers a different explanation. Modern physics suggests the universe began with the Big Bang, a point where space, time, and energy exploded into being. Yet even brilliant minds like Stephen Hawking admitted the mystery remains. What was before the Big Bang? What caused it? He explored how physics might allow the universe to arise from a nothing that is actually a deep, fertile potential, governed by laws we're only beginning to grasp. Then there's the Buddhist way of seeing. And here, the question itself begins to shift. Buddhism doesn't ask, who made this? Instead, it asks, what causes this moment to arise? The focus moves from an external creation to internal conditions, from a distant force to immediate patterns. This profound shift happens because Buddhism seeks not to build a cosmic story, but to help us understand why we suffer and how we can stop. When asked cosmic origin questions, the Buddha often stayed silent. Not because he didn't know, but because such questions, though intellectually fascinating, don't lead to freedom. They keep the mind spinning in thought, never touching what truly matters. In the Kula Malukya Sutta, the Buddha explained that asking about the world's infinitude or a soul's existence after death is like being shot by a poisoned arrow and refusing treatment until you know its maker, wood, and feathers. You die before finding out. The Buddha explicitly stated, "These are not useful questions for liberation." He wasn't dismissing the mind's wonder, but redirecting it toward what heals, understanding how easily that thirst for abstract meaning can turn into confusion. So instead of asking, "Who made the universe?" Buddhism asks, "What is happening right now, and why do we suffer?" The search turns inward. It moves from the stars in the sky to the thoughts in the mind. And still, the question lingers. If there's no creator, then where did all this come from? How can such a complex, beautiful universe exist without someone behind it? To understand how Buddhism responds, we need to look at its view of time, space, and the nature of reality itself. Not a straight line or a single act, but something endlessly moving. That's where the idea of cycles begins to take shape. Chapter 2. No Creator, the Universe of Conditions. Our minds like clean starts. Daybreak, birth, the very first moment. So when told there was no first moment, the mind resists. It wants a spark, a creator, a point where everything started. But that's not how the Buddha described reality. He taught that this universe, and everything in it, has no single start. Instead, it moves in vast cycles of existence, arising, fading, returning. This endless turning of birth and death, known as samsara in Buddhism, encompasses not just our personal lives, but the whole cosmos, planets, galaxies, heavens, and hells. In the Asu Sutta, the Buddha said, "Unimaginable is the beginning of this samsara. Not unknown, but unimaginable, because it simply doesn't exist in the way we think." This perspective reveals the universe not as a fixed object, but as a flowing, living process. And we are intimately part of it. Everything arises not from divine command, but from conditions coming together. Think of a wave forming from wind and water, not from nowhere, not from a creator's decree, but from a precise interplay of elements. This is how the universe operates, a dynamic, self-organizing system constantly shifting, flowing, and responding. This way of seeing aligns in some ways with modern science. Einstein, for instance, never believed in a personal God, but deeply respected the inherent structure of reality. He saw harmony within the cosmos, interwoven patterns of time, space, and energy, where things arise due to exact cause and effect. His awe wasn't aimed at a creator, but at the profound comprehensibility of natural laws governing everything. This idea is central in Buddhism. Every raindrop, heartbeat, every galaxy comes into being because something else made it possible. Nothing stands alone. This is the powerful truth. This exists because that exists. In Pali, this is Praticca Samutpada, Dependent Origination. Imagine a spider web where every thread connects to every other. Touch one strand, and the whole web trembles. That's how the universe works in Buddhist thought. There's no beginning point, no central controller, just causes and effects, flowing and shaping each moment. What looks solid is merely many parts coming together, sustained for a while, and then passing on. Dependent origination serves as a map of how things arise. From the smallest feeling to the largest galaxy, everything emerges from specific conditions. Nothing is born out of nothing, nor created from a single isolated cause. There's always a chain, a network of interdependencies. The 12 links of dependent origination, often applied to human suffering, also reveal how entire worlds appear, not because someone made them, but because causes and conditions gave rise to them. This principle applies universally. Stars, planets, thoughts, actions, time itself, they all arise together, not separately. Modern science, especially quantum physics, echoes some of these ideas. In the quantum world, particles don't exist in fixed places until they interact. They are defined by relationships. What we call matter isn't solid, but energy moving in patterns. Reality, at its core, isn't built like a machine. It's woven like a field. Stephen Hawking suggested the universe could have created itself due to the inherent laws of physics, not by an external builder, but by rules allowing emergence from a quantum vacuum. A fertile potential, not truly nothing. In a strange way, this scientific nothing matches the Buddha's shunyata, emptiness. Not nothing exists, but nothing exists independently. In Buddhism, emptiness isn't a scientific theory. It's a way of seeing that frees the mind, recognizing there's no fixed self, no fixed object, no fixed moment. Everything is in constant motion, co-arising. Consider your breath. You didn't invent it, didn't design your lungs, yet here you are, breathing. The breath comes and goes, like waves, like wind. That's how the universe moves too, in patterns, in rhythms, always changing. This isn't a cold, mechanical view. In fact, it's deeply intimate. It reminds us, we are not separate from the universe. We are part of its unfolding process. We're not watching the world from the outside. We are in it, like a note in a song, arising when the music is right. The Buddha never asked for blind belief. He just pointed to the way things are. See for yourself. When you observe closely, with stillness, you might notice the world doesn't need to be made to be meaningful. Its meaning is found in the motion, in the interconnectedness. So the idea of a universe without a first spark isn't something to fear, it's something to sit with. In that stillness, the mind opens. The need for a beginning softens. What remains is clarity, understanding things as they are. Just like the breath, the universe doesn't need a beginning to be real. It just needs conditions. And when those conditions come together, the wind moves across the ocean, and a wave rises once again. Chapter 3. The Buddha's Vision, a Cosmos of Karma. Some people think Buddhism avoids cosmic questions, but that's not true. The Buddha looked deeply into the universe, not to map stars, but to understand what keeps existence turning. He gave answers not for curiosity, but for clarity and less suffering. Through profound meditation, his mind became a mirror, reflecting the intricate dance of creation and dissolution across countless dimensions. When the Buddha awakened under the Bodhi tree, he saw how all things arise and pass, including entire worlds. His vision, rooted in direct seeing from deep stillness, allowed him to see beyond gods. To him, even heavenly beings are part of samsara, bound by karma, eventually fading. He perceived how beings, conditioned by their actions, manifest in various forms and realms, from fleeting human lives to grander celestial existences, each a temporary dwelling shaped by past choices. He described seeing thousands of world systems, each with beings, heavens, and hells, shaped by causes and actions. This wasn't a static blueprint dictated from above, but a dynamic, self-organizing system where universal laws manifested through every intention and deed. This way of seeing isn't denial, it's understanding. Understanding comes not from imagining a hidden hand, but from seeing the links, the causes, the conditions. The beauty of this cosmos lies not in a fixed design, but in its ever-unfolding, interconnected nature. In Buddhism, the universe isn't a pyramid with one god at the top. It's a field of seeds and fruits. Karma is the soil, actions are the seeds, and results grow naturally by connection. There's no judgment from an external deity, only the natural unfolding of consequences, much like how an acorn inevitably grows into an oak given the right conditions. If one lies often, they shape a certain mind, creating results. Kindness and wisdom bring other results. These results form not just personal experiences, but the kind of world we live in. Thus, even human realms aren't fixed. We rise or fall based on how we live. This isn't reward or punishment, but simple cause and effect. Every thought, word, and action casts a ripple, collectively weaving the fabric of existence, shaping not just our destiny, but the very nature of the realms we inhabit. This perspective also explains why the Buddha never focused on the universe's beginning. Asking where it started is like asking where a circle begins or a flame jumps. Such questions pull the mind outward into speculation. The Buddha's teaching turns the mind inward into observation. He deemed these questions not wrong, but unhelpful for the path to peace. He revealed a universe that is a living, breathing process, always responding, always transforming, a grand symphony of conditioned existence. This profound insight offered a path not to intellectual mastery of cosmology, but to a liberation grounded in seeing reality as it truly is. Chapter 4. Waking from the Cosmic Dream. This isn't to say science and cosmic study have no value. There's something beautiful in how both Buddhism and science seek to understand the world without clinging to a single creator. Einstein's awe at the universe being comprehensible echoes the Buddha's seeing deep order. While scientists use formulas, the Buddha used meditation. Physics studies space and time, Buddhism studies intention, perception, and craving. Both paths can lead to a profound respect for how things works. Yet the Buddha's ultimate concern transcended mere intellectual understanding of cosmic laws. He sought not just to comprehend the universe, but to find a way out of its endless cycles of suffering. But the Buddha didn't stop at awe. He went further, teaching how to move beyond the cycles themselves. He compared the universe to a dream. We can marvel at a dream's beauty, but real freedom comes when we wake up. So he didn't ask, "What is the dream made of?" He asked, "What keeps us dreaming?" This awakening is not an escape from reality, but a profound seeing of reality as it truly is, free from the distortions of ego and attachment. It is a liberation from the illusion of a separate self, constantly building and rebuilding worlds of experience through its desires and fears. For him, the answer was craving, the desire that pulls us into forms, identities, worlds. When craving ends, the wheel stops. The world, as we know it, fades. This means nothing left to chase, no identity to defend, no ground to stand on, just peace. This peace is not a void, but a boundless clarity, a freedom from the very forces that perpetuate the cosmic dance. The Buddha's view of the universe wasn't small or cold. It was vast and alive, full of layers and motion. But he always brought the focus back. Does this help us wake up? He knew understanding the cosmos means little if we're still caught in greed, hatred, and confusion. The true journey, then, is not across galaxies, but within the subtle movements of our own minds. By understanding how our own internal conditions give rise to our experience of the world, we gain the power to reshape that experience, moment by moment. So rather than pointing to a creator or a blueprint, he pointed to the present moment, this breath, this feeling, this thought, saying, "Look here, see clearly." That's where the real mystery opens. Not in the sky, but in the mind that watches the sky. The universe reveals its deepest truths not through external explanations, but through the inner stillness of a liberated heart. Chapter 5. The Real Answer. From External Questions to Inner Freedom. In every age, seekers, skeptics, and believers find themselves wrestling with the same profound inquiry. Some are sure there's a creator, others none, and some simply wonder. When these questions reached the Buddha, he listened, not just to words, but to the underlying need for meaning, peace, direction. His reply began there, not in theories, but in understanding the questioner's heart. He saw that despite differing beliefs, a common thread unites all humanity, the desire to alleviate suffering and find genuine contentment. He knew behind "Who made the universe?" was a deeper longing to understand why life feels as it does, why we hurt, fear, hope. So, instead of a grand cosmic explanation, the Buddha gently redirected, "You are suffering. Let's look there." This isn't avoidance. It's addressing the real question. Even if a God created the universe, we still get sick, age, die, and feel lost. So the Buddha asked, what will free you from that? This radical shift in focus turns the entire spiritual quest from an external search for answers into an internal journey of transformation. He once said, "I teach only one thing, suffering and the end of suffering." Not to deny the stars' beauty, but because their origin doesn't solve inner ache. Not to reject curiosity, but to point it inward, to where understanding begins. The universe, in this light, becomes a profound teacher, constantly demonstrating the principles of impermanence and interdependence. And that's why, in the Buddhist way, the question shifts. Not who made this, but what now? What will I do with this life? How will I respond to pain, joy, change? That's the work of awakening, where clarity lives. Some still wonder, but what if there is a creator, maybe beyond all we can know? To that, Buddhism offers no debate, only stillness. A quiet space where even big questions can soften, and the mind finds its own center, no longer needing external certainties to feel secure. This profound peace arises not from intellectual answers, but from a deeper release of attachments. As the Buddha himself taught, when the mind is still, the world becomes clear. When wisdom is born, the need for a creator fades, not because it's denied, but because you no longer cling to the question. This is an invitation to experience reality directly, to inhabit the moment fully, and to discover an unshakable peace that arises from within. In this quiet seeing, we simply perceive the universe as it is, always moving, always arising, always dissolving. Just like a wave that doesn't need a sculptor, because it was never separate from the ocean. Ultimately, we all long to understand this universe. Some seek a God, some seek logic, some just seek peace. Buddhism, in its profound wisdom, doesn't shame belief, nor does it demand rejection. It simply offers a path to see clearly, to live fully in each moment, and to let go gently. The fundamental question then is not who made this. It transforms into, can I wake up and live with love, clarity, and freedom? This path, though it calls for patience, courage, and consistent practice, is always available. Its ultimate source is not in the sky, but within the boundless potential of your own heart.